So I'm going to lay out a palette now, and everyone has their own way of laying out a palette. It kind of comes for personal preference really, but I usually always work from warm going to cool and also from light to dark. This is very good practice if you go onto oil painting, especially to keep your white one side of the canvas and your dark or your black the other side, so that when you're mixing paints in between the two, you don't kind of grab a bit of black by mistake and it dirties up your white. It's very easy to get dirty paint. It's more obvious in oils and acrylic, but it's a very good practice to just get used to. I see problems down the line. When you put your paints out, try and get them as close to this edge as possible. You want as much mixing real estate in the middle as you can get. So keep them tight to this top area. Sometimes people put out the paint in little sections, you know, to keep it cleaner, okay, like this, but really it's a waste of time. You might as well put it into one big lump and you can just work from that. So this is a full spectrum of colours that we'll be using. With these 5 colours you can create about 90% of the colours you're ever using painting. The only extra you might need is a very strong red or a blue that goes towards green, like a phthalo blue, to give you a real turquoise punch. So here we've got titanium white, cad yellow light, this is the brightest cad yellow you can get, alizarin crimson permanent. You've got to make sure it's the permanent one, because other alizarin crimson can be a bit fugitive and can lose their permanence over time. If you look at any of Gainsborough's portraits, you'll see often they're very grey, and it's because the colours that he used weren't permanent pigment colours. These all will stand the test of time. The brown that we've got is burnt umber. This has got an orange bias to it. It's a really handy brown. Also, if you go into oil paintings, burnt umber dries very quickly, very flat, great for underpainting. And here we've got an ultramarine blue, sometimes called French ultramarine, but is a good solid blue with a good amount of coverage. Often when I'm first starting laying out my canvas and blocking it in, I won't worry about these two because they can be distracting. So I'll just put out the ultramarine blue, the burnt umber and the white, and try and do as much as I can with those to get the tone of the painting. This is so important. Your tone, as in how light or how dark areas in your painting, is way more important than the colours. Colours kind of come later. If you start with all the array of every single rainbow that you can find to start with, you'll get in a mess really quickly. We've got to start simple and we can build on it from there. Okay, so now let's make a masterpiece.